Welcome back to KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit voice, telling the stories of Kansas City nonprofits and the people behind them. We are generously underwritten by the Ewan Marion Kauffman Foundation. I am Bobby Keys, and we are back with another nonprofit story about our awesome Kansas City community. So many nonprofits, over 8,000 nonprofits in the Kansas City community, and we're trying to tell the story of all of them. We're at about like 600. I don't know, somewhere around there. But one by one, we eat the elephant one bite at a time. Right now, we are talking about literacy, and something that that's a foreign concept to me. That is, we're talking with Ellen Sheppard. Ellen's in the house. She's a program advocate from the Literacy Lab. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
So, Ellen, tell us a little bit about the Literacy Lab.
Yeah, so the Literacy Lab is an education nonprofit. We've been in Kansas City for about 5 years, but we're a national organization that's been around for about 10. We're in D.C., Baltimore, Richmond, Virginia, Springfield, Massachusetts. I think I'm leaving out somebody. Oh, Milwaukee. So
Okay.
we're kind of like in the Midwest. Most of our offices are on the East Coast, but we are focused on literacy. At the Literacy Lab, we believe that literacy is a human right, and that because of systemic inequities and allocation of resources, not every student gets the same opportunity to develop those skills. And so we address that by placing full-time literacy tutors in pre-K and elementary schools. And they work one-on-one with students to help get them on grade level.
So and you deal mainly with that age group? Is it?
Yeah, so we focus on pre-K to third grade. In the education space, there's kind of third grade is that cutoff. You see a lot of learning how to read from basically birth to third grade.
Okay.
But then third grade, you are then reading to learn. And so they kind of see third grade as that critical cutoff to make sure that you're on grade level and that you won't fall behind in those later grades. It's also a big data point that's going to indicate high school readiness and future career success. So we really focus on that age range so that we can make sure they have the skills.
So what does the data say about that? When I guess learning to read from up to 3 or third grade, you said, right?
Yeah, up to third grade. Yeah, so here in Kansas City, only about 50% of students are on track to be on grade level by third grade. And a lot of our program is centered around that data. So the data sets and the goals that we set for our students are set to make sure that they're able to get high school graduation.
What does it say about your ability to learn later when you miss out on proper reading, and learning at that age?
So, literacy is kind of the foundation for all other subjects, too. So if you're falling behind in literacy, it's going to be difficult to read those math problems that are like word problems or in science and things like that. So that is kind of the foundational element to a lot of other pieces of education.
Yeah, absolutely. And, reading is huge. But, the relation when kids lack that ability or they're not read to at that age, what does it look like in college? Do they, is there studies, that say, hey, they don't make it through college, So that's kind of, that's kind of what I was looking for. Do you know anything like that? Because I know how important it is.
I don't know if I can pull out a data set for that exactly.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
I want to know it now.
We have a director of data, and so he's the one who's really organizing a lot of that. But the Annie Casey Foundation has a lot of resources and has done a lot of studies on third grade reading being that kind of critical point.
Yeah, that's huge. So so you have the different programs you have within the Literacy Lab, right?
Yeah. So our main program is that AmeriCorps program, and that's kind of what I've been talking about. We have a pre-K element in that, and then a K through 3 element. And so pre-K, we train the tutors to kind of focus on rhyming, alliteration, letter names, letter sounds, and the social emotional learning for those 3 to 5-year-olds. They're placed in a classroom, and they're implementing that to the whole class, but also some small group and one-on-one. And then on our elementary side, it's all K through 3, and those tutors are working one-on-one with students. So they have a caseload of about 15 to 18 kids that they work with daily, and they're delivering individualized instruction to them.
And now that's where you started, right?
Yes, yeah. So
Tell us about that background. How'd you get involved?
Yeah, I had the honor of being a tutor for 2 years. I was at Banneker Elementary, so go Bulldogs.
Yes.
But I kind of got interested in it. I was interested in education, but I didn't know if that was like the right route for me. I hadn't had a lot of experience in schools, and so I stumbled upon the literacy lab, and I was like, this is a perfect chance to spend some time in a school, see if it's something for me. And I immediately was hooked, and I've been staying in education ever since. My major initially is like in environmental science, and this completely flipped the script on what I was doing because I just fell in love with the kids and the work. But yeah, it was a great time in my life. Right now, the same kids that I tutored are in 6th grade right now, so it's kind of hard to believe. But my co-tutor from my school is actually a 6th grade teacher at that same school, so I'm able to keep tabs on them, make sure they're doing everything. That's
good. That's got to be some great data for you, and just see the results.
Yes.
Because that's huge. Like to have somebody who's involved and to have an outlet, for kids who don't have that opportunity or are in an environment that facilitates learning, right? They have access to people like you.
Yeah, they love the one-on-one attention. Yeah. I think sometimes there's the connotation of like, oh, you're getting pulled out of class for something, you need extra help, but it's actually the opposite. Like they love and look forward to the one-on-one time because they know that there's an adult there who's dedicated to them and their success and cares about them. And so you even have kids who aren't on your caseload around the school are just like, take me. And so it feels really good, and it helps make them invest in their education as well.
And so you touched on that you pull the kids out of class. Like, so is this all done through, like, if a parent like, hey, my kid needs help, do they come to you, or is this, do they have to talk to the teachers, or is it something that the teachers recommend? How does that all work?
Yeah, so we partner with the school, and so we're partnered with maybe about 19 or 20 schools in Kansas City right now, and they kind of dedicate a coach who works with our team to identify students who are going to be best for caseload. Okay,
and then how many kids in the you work with in the community altogether?
So each tutor serves about 15 to 18 kids. Oh, do some math. But I think we're serving around like 1,000 kids in Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so they're all getting dedicated one-on-one time
That's cool.
with an adult who cares about them and is invested in them.
Now, what about this? You have we talked about the Miracle, right? Mm-hmm. What was the other program?
The Leading Men Fellowship.
Yes.
So that is something relatively new that we've started. And as we did this work in the schools with our tutors, we noticed that there is a lack of diversity in the teaching field. And so we wanted to address that in a very specific way. And so nationally, only about 5% of teachers are men of color. And in the early childhood space, so in pre-K classrooms, it's around like 1% to 2% of teachers. And the data shows that even having one teacher of color, like a male teacher of color, throughout your education career can just really elevate your ability to be able to graduate. And that goes across races for any kind of student.
Now, I love data. I jive with your data, dude. So I'm wondering, what that is. Why? Is it because of the representation? When they see somebody that looks like them, they feel more connected. They're more in tune, right?
Yeah, so that's a big piece of it, is especially for students of color. They see someone who looks like them and can relate to the experiences that they've had in their life. And so I think that drives some of their motivation to do well in the classroom. But we see that data with even students not of color. And so it's just bringing a whole new perspective to the work. And so it benefits all kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So with this program, we take young men of color, usually ages 18 to 24, so right out of high school or have had a little bit of college experience, and we train them to be pre-K literacy tutors. So they're spending part-time in the classroom being literacy tutors, and it works out really well. They're kind of the only people, I think, who have the energy for being in a pre-K class. But then the other part of it is kind of professional development. So we work with mentors in the community and help them, work on their resume and get prepared for college. And they do sessions on like what it is to be a man and financial literacy. And so it's this holistic program that is developing the young men for success in their future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We need more of that. I'm surrounded by girls. I have 4 daughters. So, but I'm like, we need programs for men, as well. To teach men, financially, even my kids, daughters as well. But financial literacy is huge, and we need more of that. But having that opportunity for kids to learn and see a role model, I guess, in that sense,
Yeah.
What does that training program look like for the young men coming in? Is it like, how long does it last? Is it how many hours a day? What does that look like?
So they go through a rigorous week. They probably all look back on it and are like, oh my gosh, because it was a pretty long week for everyone, but they do a whole week of training where they're learning the curriculum and everything that they're going to be doing. And then they have ongoing training with us twice a month.
Okay. And you said the 18 to 24-year-old. And what does that look like for them? Are they able to, I guess, the amount of time? Like if you're in college so people are listening and they're like, hey, I want to do something like that. They know the amount of.
Yeah, so they work part-time. So it's about 20 to 25 hours a week in the classroom.
Okay.
And then additional 2 hours a week probably with the training, and then like we call them PLGs, but those are like the sessions where they're doing financial literacy and things like that.
Yeah, okay.
So we do, a lot of our fellows are in classes right now at the same time.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I mean, how can they get involved? How can somebody get involved if they want to be a part of this? Or
Yeah, definitely. Check out our website. We're just at theliteracylab.org, and you can read a little bit more about the programs and see which one might be a good fit for you. And you can also apply through our website too.
And how are you guys, I guess, how are you funded? Like that's got to be.
Yeah, so
that's got to be that's a lot of money. It seems like that you have to support this.
So part of it is that we do partner with AmeriCorps, so we receive that federal funding.
Okay.
And the benefit of being an AmeriCorps member, you receive a stipend. It's not a ton; it's $1,400 a month,
Hey.
but the mission of it is to be more invest in your community, and you're doing like a service year and committing to helping out the community in a tangible way. So you get a living stipend. We provide health insurance. If you're a recent college grad, we put those loans into forbearance, so that way you don't have to pay on them.
I'm 47. Can I get him?
Yeah.
It's still I need my loans for a bit.
We'll get you in there. Yeah. But yeah, it's open to anyone. That's what I really love about this program, is that we train you with everything that you need to know to do in the classroom. And so we see high school graduates come into our program, and then we even have retired professors and retired teachers who are like, I craved this one-on-one time with my kids, and I knew how important it was, and now I finally have the chance to do that. But another big draw of being an AmeriCorps member is you get a scholarship at the end of it. Okay. So you get about $4,200 to go towards any future or past schooling.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So there's some good benefits, and you're helping kids. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's I like how you what you touched on, like the quality. As you get older, you learn how important it is that relationship with children are, and that relationship with children is, and then so. That's pretty cool. I can see why you'd want to go back and get involved. Now, this AmeriCorps, it's different process than the Leading Men Fellowship, right? Getting
a little bit, yeah. So the AmeriCorps, that is full time. So our fellowship, they're part time, but our AmeriCorps is full time. You apply the same way. You go onto our website, and you do like a phone screening with us, an interview, and learn a little bit more about the program. And we hire about 40 AmeriCorps tutors a year. Okay. So we have plenty of positions. We're still recruiting for this upcoming school year.
You said it's full time? What is full time? What is that? I mean, like 40 hours a week, or
about 35 to 40, just kind of the normal school day.
Sure.
But one of the benefits of working in a school is that you get some vacation. So you get that spring break, the winter vacation, and those days. So you're on a school schedule.
Okay, and then people, like you were mentioning, people can go to the website, theliteracylab.org, and then they can they donate?
Yes, yeah, that helps fund the work that we're doing, here every day. So we would love to get more contributors to our program here in Kansas City.
Yeah, you help out the kids. I'm big on the education. And politically, I don't want to even go down the road, but I think we should have free education. I think we should have. That's huge. It just makes a better society, a more functional society, a healthier society, right? So get out there and support them. And then you guys don't do any events to support, right? Or do you have any events coming up? Or
not necessarily.
Okay.
We're kind of we're plugging away at the schools. Tutors are doing a lot of the work, but if we do ever have anything, I will let you know.
Absolutely, because you let us know, we'll spread it across the airwaves. Maybe we can get you back on. Maybe we can even have some of we'd love to have one of the fellowship, the men fellowship.
They would
or Miracle
love
Men.
it.
Yeah, here we go. Maybe we should bring them on at least once a month or something like that.
They have a lot to say about the work.
It's cool. I mean, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Ellen, and we appreciate you coming on. We'd love to have you back on again. And if you want to help out the Literacy Lab, go to the literacylab.org and you can donate. You can find out more. Thank you for coming on. And thank you for listening to KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit voice. We're produced by Charitable Communications and generously underwritten by the Ewan Marion Kaufman Foundation. If you want to be a guest on KC Cares or you want to underwrite us, you need help too. So please visit kccaresonline.org. Spread the love and find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all those social places, and share us at kccaresonline.org. Thank you for listening to KC Cares on 94.5 FM and 1510 AM.